Hello everyone, this is Francis Reddy. Welcome to the 15th episode of Staying in the Fight to Defeat Rectum Cancer. I'd also like to subtitle today's episode as being my first diary entry. At 20 past 10 on the 30th of December 2024, the nurse called me and said, Francis, we shall begin your first chemo session. And she led me to a room where the chemo takes place. I got sat down into a nice comfy sofa, and while sitting there, a lot of emotions started to go through me. Firstly, I was elated that the session is now going to begin, but also a bit nervous, and also the emotion of asking myself, we lost a month already. How is this going to affect, or if any, the whole outcome of the chemo session? But then the nurse started talking to me direct. I had to leave my thoughts aside and concentrate on what she was telling me. She said to me that even when I go to use the loo during the process of chemo, I must not use any water, even tap water, because it might induce nausea or it might create a vomiting scenario. So I said, I don't want that. But anyway, and she said, sometimes when you touch water, when chemo is going through your system, you have this tingly feeling that's not very nice. And she also further said that if I go home this evening, I must make sure that whatever I drink must be warm. It must not be cold. And she prepped me. The session started. And I was waiting for something different to happen, but it was like I was taking normal fluids. The first hour passed, and I expected maybe a change in the way I was feeling, but yeah, everything seemed to be okay. And the nurse kept on asking me, am I okay? I said, no, I'm fine. The second hour went, things were still okay, but halfway through the third hour, I started to feel my hand where the fluid was going through, starting to feel a bit numb, a bit tingly. It was heavy, and I could see it actually was getting dark in color. I am dark, but I could see it was getting black. So when the nurse asked me how I'm feeling, I just explained to her what I was going through. She said, no, it's normal. Not long to go. You have about just maybe less than an hour. Let's see what happens. 20 minutes before the session could end, I felt a sensation in my throat where it felt like it was catchy and I needed to clear my throat, but this was persistent. And I suffer from hiccups, so it started inducing this hiccup where I was now starting to battle to breathe. The nurse saw this and said, try and relax, try and breathe normally. I said, no, let me just maybe walk to the loo. And I took my trolley with my chemo still intact, and I went to the loo, relaxed, came back, I sat. But this feeling and the sensation got stronger and stronger until eventually the session was over, and her advice was sit down for about 10-15 minutes, get yourself together, try and control your breathing, and all will be fine. So yes, that happened, and I left to go to my vehicle. When I got into the car, I was also reminded that I must not put the aircon on. It was very hot. When I sat in the car, I could feel the sensation coming to me more than when I was sitting for the chemo session. And I relaxed, forced myself to relax, and after a while, I was fine, got into the car, and I drove off. That's how the day ended. Thank you. Bye.